The brothers Terry are family. Sadly, that does not mean they are family friendly. This podcast almost certainly contains language that will offend their mother, and probably yours. Sorry, moms. Also, their opinions that you probably don't care about may or may not be shared by those who sponsor this podcast.
I have nothing funny to say. Cue that theme song. Is it not funny? Should I do something else?
I think you should do something else.
Well, I thought I was trying to think of what would be funny for the intro, and then I thought it's funny on the intro if you don't have an intro because you were dumb and couldn't think of one. What's fun? Okay, tell me what's funny. What's funny to Steven?
I mean, like, having it come off, like, forcibly like this, like, hey, do something funny. You know what I mean? That's not... You've in the past in the episodes, you've been really good about just taking our banter beforehand.
Right, but okay, but still...
kids fall off bikes.
I hurt my knee. Cue that theme song. No, you didn't. You didn't answer my question though. What's funny to Steven? Just give me what do you find funny in life, and I'll base it on that. Do you have any humor in your life whatsoever?
You guys know better than I do. No,
We know better than you. What's funny?
no,
Pooing.
about my life. Pooing.
I just took a dump. Cue that theme song. See, Russell's good. He's giving me lots of good stuff here. What do you find funny?
I don't know. Dramatic ironies.
Dramatic irony is funny? Well, then guess what? I have nothing funny to say. Cue that theme song. That's going to be the longest intro we've ever had because I'm probably going to keep all 40 seconds of that in there.
Man. That was good.
Yeah, see, once we start bouncing off of each other and not texting in the middle of the podcast, we do very well together. Steven rolls his eyes.
His eye.
It's okay. We'll wait.
I'm fine. Go.
Oh, all right. Hold on, let me pull out my agenda here. I'm the oldest brother, Jamie, and I...
Good thing you grabbed the agenda for that. You'd be lost.
I'm the oldest brother, Jamie, and I am ambidextrous. Kind of. I write left-handed, but I do most other things right-handed, like swinging a bat, a golf club, most sports stuff right-handed, but
Swinging
no.
a bat, he says.
Okay.
Right.
I knew it was going to go there, and that's right-handed as well. So
Nice.
The dead giveaway is that none of us play sports.
I disc golf.
Man, we should play more sports. Maybe we should base season 2 of our podcast on sports.
It's not a bad idea.
Hint?
Oh,
I'm open to new experiences. I'm Steven. I'm the middle brother, and I am right-handed.
That's it.
I mean,
yeah. I mean,
see?
if you don't have more than
right-handed.
And I'm Russ. I'm the youngest, and I am right-handed, but I can detail a drawing with my left hand, but predominantly right-handed.
What does that mean? You can detail a drawing.
So I'll draw the drawing, but then to like do eyelashes, I do better lashes with like my flick of my left wrist. It's weird.
Oh yeah, so you're eyelash left-handed.
Yeah,
You're you're a lash lefty.
A lafty lash. What? The fuck
Lafty
did I
lash.
just-
You're a lafty lash, dude.
Does that mean would you be better with your wand in the Harry Potter universe with your left hand then?
Probably
With a swish
and the flick. Yeah, is that a thing?
I
in
like
Harry...
that reference.
If you're right-handed, do you use your wand in your right hand in Harry Potter?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
You should
Absolutely.
always duel with your dominant hand.
Yes, I was just gonna say that. Have you been brushing up on your Harry Potter knowledge?
I've always been there.
What if you're ambidextrous? You get 2 wands?
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
Are you
and then you're the
serious?
most powerful wizard, and you defeat he who must not be named with either hand or both.
Hagrid?
Hagrid is not.
We don't speak his name.
No,
We
that's
just
not
went
he
over
who
this.
must not be named. What are you now? Now you lost it.
No, here's the thing. If you have a title like He Who Must Not Be Named, that could be like you just can't name anybody.
What do you mean?
I mean, like this
Yeah, what
sentence
do you
works like he who must like who must not be named. Oh, I can't tell you, so you'll never know.
Well, I mean, do we have time to get into this? Because that's what was so great about him being he who must not be named. That's all you need to say, and everybody knows who you're talking about. That's how like big of a deal he was.
But let's say I come in to the castle. Maybe I'm just a filthy mudblood. I'm just a muggle. I've never been there before. And
If you're a muggle, you can't get into
just
Hogwarts.
like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Check your facts.
I'm just saying, as like a third party, if I had heard this for the first time, it says he must not be named. I'm still like, oh, I'm not like shaking in my boots with fear. I'm just like, oh, who?
Well, that's interesting.
Who mustn't
because
be named?
You know who didn't know who he was? Harry Potter. Read a fucking book.
We're 7.
There are 7. Nice job.
That was one holy hell of a tangent from what we were supposed to be saying.
Oh, yeah.
We
Yeah, I'm
did
right-handed.
we did have a couple housekeeping notes that we wanted to go over. First and foremost, we did not plan out to do the Prep Boy Chef Boy episodes. So sorry, moms who subscribed to the Patreon.
And kid.
Scheduling wise, we didn't finish it. So we're not going to do on this episode just so that we can catch up so that the three of us have time to meet up and do that. But my only housekeeping note, aside from Steven put on here, be careful. Russell's laughter is broken.
We have to be careful. We can't make him laugh super hard this go around.
Yeah, we'll break him. What happened? What happened to your laugher?
I got surgery and it just hurts to laugh.
Oh man,
Yeah.
I'm sorry. We'll try to keep the ultimate comedy that we bring to this podcast every month. We'll try to keep it to a bare minimum chuckle.
Got it.
I was thinking maybe
We'll take
could
it from 3 chuckle fuck to one chuckle
chuck.
fuck.
we could even make this episode just strictly educational and no, we can't do it.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks during his recovery, though, have been the funniest and saddest thing for me in the world.
We're recording a week late though because I got a text from Russell that was like, "Hey, we gotta push it back. It hurts to laugh."
Oh, I could not laugh. Like I could, but I had to, every time I'd go to laugh, I had to grab my stitches and go, and try to just hold back the laughter.
It would hurt him every time he would laugh, so everything was restrained. And so anytime I've been around him, interacted with him, and he's been laughing, it's just like him trying to hold back. He goes,
Well,
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
no, it's fun. It's cute. It's kind of adorable, is what it is.
well, it would be these like laughing tangents, and then we would start laughing at him laughing, and then he would start laughing at us laughing, and it would just be this thing where like we had to leave
Gets
the
worse
room
and worse.
so he could. Not in pain.
Poor boy.
Yeah.
Rest of this episode, I just wanted to be careful with Russell's laugher. His laugher is busted.
Well, I know personally I'll probably have my humor levels toned down because I'm a little, to be honest, can I be honest right now? Is this a zone of honesty?
Yep.
I'm a little hungover.
Zone of
Yeah. And
You're what?
yeah, I'm a little hungover because we were going to talk about alcohol this episode, so I was doing some research. I was just doing some
You're an
it was
alcoholic.
research for the podcast.
You have a problem.
Yeah, and it's being hungover. And now I've learned to never drink again.
Look at this.
All right.
It's the morning. You're already drunk.
I am also hungover. I haven't drank for a week since my surgery, and I really wanted to get at it.
You probably shouldn't admit that you're hungover right after having major surgery.
Major.
Yeah, your doctor. I know your doctor is a.
He's a subscriber?
He's an audience, and
Yeah.
he's gonna be real disappointed in you.
Well, on the paper, it said to wait 24 hours before consuming alcoholic beverages after the
Dude,
surgery.
24 hours and 1 second. Russell's like he's shotgunning beers.
No, it's been a week or two. I don't remember. about a week, though.
You know why you don't remember? Because you killed all your brain cells with
You
alcohol.
fucking drink too much.
Yeah.
So, I never really was a drinker though, like ever in my life.
I remember that.
I was very like Peter Priesthood about it. That's a term for non-local listeners that people use for Mormons who are very, very strict in their standards for specifically males. Molly Mormons, you might hear that for females, but boys,
Priesthood.
yeah, Peter Priesthood are for the guys who really are really strict on those rules, and that was always me for a very, very long time. And even when we moved out of our parents' house, I was always like, no alcohol in the house, keep it down, I have to be up at 5 o'clock to get to the deli. I didn't sound like that. I don't know why I'm giving myself a weird voice for back then, but I was always just like, So I never, I was always like the anti-partier.
I mean, you had your opinion and your preferences, but I don't think you were condescending like that.
Okay, good. Because when I'm reflecting on those memories with my friends, they do that voice and they make it sound like I was. So I'm glad to hear it because I was probably closest to you. So I'm glad to hear you don't think that I was.
You might have been. I was pretty drunk.
I never like looked down on anyone else for doing it or anything. I
Right.
just personally was like, I always want to be in control of my faculties. I don't like losing control of but I didn't know what I was talking about because I'd never tried it. So I didn't know. And I didn't drink. My first drink I was 23 years old. And I had gone to New York for the first time in my life to see a bunch of Broadway shows. And that's my jam. I'm all about that. Mm-hmm. So while we were out there, a friend of mine was like, we're going to have a hell of a time tonight. I rented a limo. It's going to take us to the medieval festival. So we went to a medieval jousting festival, and I'm like in my element now. I'm in New York seeing Broadway shows. I'm like watching people joust, and I'm at a medieval show, and I'm like...
Was it medieval times?
Yeah, it was medieval times.
Oh, hell yeah.
It was so cool. And everybody's drinking ale out of their mugs and big old tall steins filled with wines and all sorts. So I was like, if I'm ever going to drink, this is the moment
That's
in which
the
I
time,
drink.
for sure.
So I had a tall glass of white wine.
Oh shit!
Spicy.
It was fancy. And then that's all we drank for the rest of the weekend. Someone got another bottle or 4 of wine, and I had another glass. So my first introduction was at 23 years old, the medieval festival. I had some nice white wine. It was
Nice
classy.
fermented grape juice.
And then when we got home, I stopped telling my roommates that we couldn't have alcohol and weed in the house, and I got over it. And I said, okay, I'll drink with you. And the first time I had like a shot of vodka, everybody was like, dude, it's rough. So you're going to want like this orange soda to chase it. And I'm like, oh, that's what a chaser is. Like, I didn't know. I was just learning all this. So I remember taking my first shot, and it was lime rum.
Ooh.
And it went down so smooth. It was just whoop. It was gone. I was like, what are you guys talking about? So I was like, boom, 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 shot, 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 shot. Like they wrote that song for me. And I was, because I could just do it, no problem. I didn't know what the fuck everyone was talking about. Like, this is fine. Why does everybody like make a weird face after drinking? It made no sense to me. Then the next morning, yeah, I was like, whoa, I get it. Never again in my life have I touched lime rum. I haven't been able to.
I can relate.
Actually, I don't like limes anymore, and I didn't realize that till just now. That's probably why.
Limes are delicious.
Limes are the best.
Well, not when you shoot them with a whole bottle of and one of the big ones too. It's like a party-sized bottle. I drink the whole thing.
Gross.
What it really was.
I can't do flavored liquor.
A party-sized bottle.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking of it like candy bars. They're like fun size, shareable size.
well, they have those. It's like the fun size are the size you get of the airplane. the mini bottles.
Yeah, just enough to piss you off.
I mean, they always make me happy. No amount of alcohol pissed me off.
You just got to get a couple of them. And then you're really happy.
They're fun in like a Harajuku way. Like it's cute because it's tiny.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I was a really late bloomer with alcohol. Steven, when was your first?
I was 15 years old.
15?
Mm-hmm. And I wasn't. I'd already been pretty curious about it, and I wasn't shy enough to be like, we're gonna play hard. go at it hard with some white wine. Oh shit, dude! Like we went hard. I was with my friend and his family. We had gone on a vacation. Well, they'd asked me to join them on a family trip up to Canada to see their extended family.
You didn't want to use their full name?
Not this time.
Oh, he's learning. He's sober.
So we're up in Canada with their family. And we had, I don't know, just some free time in between visiting family and stuff like that. And the adults wanted to go off and do their thing. So it was me and my buddy and his older sister. And she was like, hey, hope you guys are cool with this. Like, not like offended or anything, but I kind of need to get loosey-goosey right now, And so she went out and got some stuff, and the first drink I ever had, she was like, I don't know if you're going to like this for your first drink, but you can try it if you want to. And it was Jägermeister.
Jaeger was your first
Jaeger
drink?
was my first.
That's kind of hardcore.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was pretty good actually. I remember tasting it and being like, oh, like it's thicker, it's like molassesy, licoricey almost. I was like, I can get into drinking. This is fine. And me and Jane, my friend, got a little bit of root beer. Got some root beer, mixed it together, and drank it, and just kept going for a while, and then eventually walked over across the street from where we were staying. There was like this golf course. We walked over there and just.
You drank at a golf course?
And we drank at our hotel room and then walked across
and
the
then
street
walked over to the golf course.
to the golf course. And I don't remember much after that. I remember we tried to sneak into the bar that was underneath the hotel. And
At 15?
yeah, we were standing there just like, we had this undeserved amount of confidence. And we didn't have the balls to like open the door and walk in. We did the weird, like we were stood there, waited for someone else to come out. And with the swinging door, we like peeked in like, with our heads and then tried to walk in. And like immediately some guy was just like, just get out. Like, or get out.
Get out. Did you like get drunk or like even tipsy that night? Because the first time I drank, it was like nothing. It was a glass of white wine.
It wasn't like blackout or anything like that, but we definitely, wanted to see what the fuss was about and kept going until everything was like you're on a ship. You know what I mean? Kind of rocky, and I think we slowed down there.
Oh, well, that's good. A lot of people, when they drink the first time, they don't pace themselves. They just hit it hard and then they hit the floor.
I didn't.
Like me with my. Well, you have the best first drinking story. I know we've teased it a little bit in earlier episodes, but it is one of my favorite stories in general.
I don't think he was referring to that, but that is technically the first time you had a
That is
drink.
technically the first time it entered my body.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's the story I want to tell. I don't care about adult Russell drinking.
But you bought me my first bottle.
I did?
You did.
Let's table that because I want to hear that story in earnest in a moment. But I want to tell this little. I want to tell,
All right.
and I want Steven to tell it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want him to tell it because I don't remember
wait.
most.
I want to hear it from your perspective, though. Well, if you don't remember it, I do want Steven to tell.
We'll tell it in collaboration. By this point, I was a little more seasoned in the art of drinking. And by which I mean, I was
15 and a half.
Yeah, exactly. No, like I was a little older, a little wiser, but I was still young enough to like not drink like a responsible, almost adult. You know what I mean? I was still just like, yeah, if we're gonna drink, we're gonna hit it hard, and I would just pour half a bottle into a fucking slushie or whatever. You know what I mean? And definitely was abusing it as a kid, not realizing how far you can go with these kind of things. And so if I had a drink, I didn't just like make a little after school drink and take the edge off. I went fucking hard. You know what I mean?
Like you do when you're.
Yeah. When you're uneducated.
Well, I was going to say, you've just even introducing yourself to drinking.
Exactly.
Like you don't do it to take the edge off as a kid. That's
Yeah.
an adult.
Do it to get fucked up. And
Yeah, exactly.
so I had a bottle of, it was vodka. I don't remember if it was flavored or not. I think it was just some bottom shelf shit like Smirnoff or something. I don't fucking know.
Whipped.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh God, that stuff's nasty. Yeah, but I usually I would never drink anything straight because I was still young and stuff like that. I would always mix it with something overly sweet and stuff like that. And so I remember I wanted to fix myself a drink at home one day, and I wanted to play on the computer. This was way back when we had one family computer downstairs. You know what I mean? And we all had to share it and have computer time.
It was riddled with viruses from LimeWire downloads and trying to assemble the latest 311 album one song at a time at 56 kilobytes per hour.
Still, I would download like Dragon Ball Z compilations to Linkin Park songs off of LimeWire and stuff like that. It was so cool. I remember when it was computer time, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna get drunk and play computer games," because that sounded like a great idea to young Steven. And
Sounds like a great idea to adult Jamie, to be
sounds like
honest.
an awesome idea now.
well, I go in and I grab a glass, and like I said, I go hard. I'm not trying to like just have a couple shots here. I went and I found the biggest cup that we had, and it was this really, really comically tall novelty cup from the Hard Rock Cafe. It was like this really big, tall glass cup, and I was like, "That's perfect."
Aren't
But-
those beer cups?
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why do we have those?
They're just tall. Oh my gosh.
Mom.
You got some explaining to do.
Snoops.
I grabbed that though. I filled it up pretty considerably full, like about at least halfway, I think, with the vodka, and then I was a pussy. I was like, I want to mix it with something, but I scoured the pantry, the fridge, everything. We didn't have any like soda or nothing like that to mix it with that I normally would have. I didn't know what to do. And so I kept searching, and I eventually found Kool-Aid in the pantry, unmixed, packaged Kool-Aid. And so I was like, oh, sweet. So
It
I
was a
made
staple at our house.
it really was. So red fruit punch Kool-Aid, made a big old batch of it, and then poured the rest into the cup. Went downstairs and sat it down by the computer. And then I thought, I don't remember what it was, but I had forgotten something. I was like, oh shit, I got to go around to my room and get something. So I did, and I'm really excited to get, Mom and Dad are gone. I'm going to get drunk, play computer games, and I get whatever it was upstairs, and I come back downstairs just in time to see Russell standing next to the desk where the computer is sitting, and he's holding the cup, and it's not like he's examining it or anything. He's drinking it, and he's got it angled up higher than his head is. When you have to really, really tip it to get the last little bit of the cup. And I look just in time to see the bright red Kool-Aid color through the clear glass going down and into his gullet.
See, I thought it was blue.
No, it was red.
Oh
I
shit!
remember it being red.
Damn.
I remember being mortified though. Russell, you had to have been what, 8?
Probably mortified and disappointed that you're down some alcohol.
Yeah,
And the only packet of Kool-Aid that was left.
Yeah, no, not like mortified that my 8-year-old brother's drinking this. Just my vodka, no, no. I was terrified because my little kid brother just drank that whole thing. It was big. It was a lot.
When you've recounted the story before, though, you saw him drinking it and you tried it. No. And so, you hurry over, but you just drink it faster because the three of us, when we were kids, that's what you had to do. You had to eat it the fastest
yeah.
or drink it the fastest. Otherwise, one of the other brothers is going to get to it.
I'm pretty sure I started drinking it because whenever I would want to drink, you would drink it quickly, so I couldn't have any, and so I was probably doing it.
Russell got that the worst from both of us.
Oh, for
Eating and
sure.
drinking and shit, I'm sure, but yeah, that is what I remember, lunging toward him in a panic, like, oh god, no, stop. And I'm sure he did do that, drink
Back
as
up.
fast as he can. He puts the cup down and he just wipes his lip. That tasted weird.
Oh shit!
And then I didn't know what to do. And because it was, like I said, big tall glass, a lot of vodka, so I kind of monitored him the rest of the day, and he didn't do much or act too different. He got a little woozy, a little lethargic even, and then he just went upstairs and fell asleep on the couch.
Took a nap.
Yeah.
Much like adult Russell.
I was expecting him to get sick and just yak all over the stairs or something, and me have to explain to Mom why Russell's vomiting this neon red shit all over our carpet.
Is that how you remember it, Russ? Is there anything you would change about that story?
No, I know I drank it, and I know I said that tasted weird. I know I went right to bed.
And you took a nap.
Yeah.
Yep.
You went upstairs. I think you played in the kitchen, or I think with the car mat or something for a while. You did something interactive for a minute.
I went drunk driving at 8 years old
my
on
God.
the car mat.
No, I just remember kind of peeking around the cows, making sure you're okay for a short while at least. You were just kind of being yourself, just playing, having fun, and then you kind of got oh, whoa. You went and laid down.
I'm playing cards too hard, man.
Yeah, could have turned out a hell of a lot worse.
That was my first experience with alcohol.
I have a similar story, though. It isn't not as funny because it's not alcohol, but it's the reason I can't eat pastrami anymore.
Oh, no.
You were so when you and I worked at Gandolfo's, I don't think I was there yet. It was just you at Gandolfo's at this point because you started there first, right?
Yes.
That's a deli for anyone who doesn't know. I think it's a local chain. Oh no, they're national.
Yeah, New York.
That's
It's
right.
in the title.
It didn't start in New York. It's based on New York delis.
New York inspired.
This is a tangent from my story. New York inspired deli. Anyways, you work there. They have awesome breakfast sandwiches. And that was always one. You get your, one free sandwich per shift when you're working. And so I would usually take one home. You often did. And the breakfast sandwiches were so good. and you had taken one home, and on the same desk down by the computer, there was a Gandolfo sandwich sitting there. And I was looking around, like it's on poppy seed Kaiser. It's got egg, cheese, and then whatever meat's on there. And they're just, they're so delicious. So I saw it sitting there as I was walking into my room into the basement. And I looked around for you. I didn't see you. You weren't in there. It's like, I'm gonna slam this sandwich before, I'm gonna try and eat half of it in one bite. So before this guy can stop me, because they're so good. I'm like, Steven's gonna do nothing about it. So I walk over to it. I pick it up. I stuff as much of it into my mouth as I can. I chomp down and start chewing, swallow. And then I realized that had been sitting there for God knows how long. The pastrami tasted like Bernie, and the eggs were very not at all good and rubbery, and the bread was so stale. But I was like trying to eat it as fast as I could, so I was like, and it was disgusting. And
There's a decent chance I made it like the day before and put it in the fridge or something, and then just had it sit by the computer. And then forget about it. You know.
I asked you, how long was that sitting there? And you were like, did you eat it? Yeah, that's been there for a couple days. It was pretty funny.
Why did we try to eat or drink everything as fast as possible that wasn't ours?
I don't know, but it's made me an overeater in life.
Yeah.
And I eat, so anytime we do anyone with anything and we're like having a meal with friends, I'm done and everyone has a full plate. I'm like, crap. But like all growing up, that's how it was.
Nothing was ours. Nothing was safe. Anything that we got that like we could savor and enjoy, we had vultures. We had prowlers.
Yeah.
We had to keep it either enjoy it really fast or hide it to keep it precious.
This might sound stupid, but I think of Sunday dinners when we would get together, sit down at the table as a family and have a Sunday dinner. Mm-hmm. Mom would oftentimes cook a full chicken. And I loved the chicken legs because you could hold the leg and eat it right off the leg. I thought that was really cool. There were 3 of us, but only 2 legs. So you had to be really fast to get that leg. And I don't know. I just, when I think of what started the whole eating quicker than my brother's thing, I go back to the Sunday chicken.
The Sunday chicken.
I don't know. I just go back to macaroni. Because I always felt like it was a competition for me to eat the most bowls of macaroni.
I just go back to where mashed potatoes and hamburger gravy. Like
Mashed potatoes and hamburger gravy.
I
haven't had that in so long.
Snoops, you made the best hamburger gravy with mashed potatoes.
And hamburger helper. Oh, man.
Staple on it. But you hear this? We're listing all these different things. You're eating chicken. I'm eating hamburger gravy. He's eating, what was it?
Macaroni.
And
we're all eating it as fast as we can before the other brother can get to it.
Eat it. We're all eating different shit.
Oh man.
You and I now have both referenced Mom as Snoops during this episode, and that made me realize I did forget one housekeeping note, which was Mom actually sent me a video of the windowsill and showed me. She's like, look, I'm trying to lift it and it's not going up. So she sent me like a video message that the windowsill did not move. I will say that I don't think she was trying to lift it very hard, and there was a whole bunch of stuff sitting on top of it.
Sounds staged.
Yeah, it could be. I have yet to go over and verify, but
I can help you. I was there. I went there the day that she did that because she just said, I just sent Jamie a polo. I was there. Dad was in the kitchen. He said, I fucking glued it. So it's fixed.
Mystery solved. Well, he sealed those notes in there forever then. Well, I was going to say, we redeemed... She didn't tell me that. I was going to say the mom redeemed herself, that she no longer has the nickname of Snoops. I did just want to say, though, that we love our mom. We weren't bashing on her.
Love me Snoops.
Yeah, I think she was a little put off by that, but so I did want to make note of it. Anyways, but hearing that Dad glued it shut, sorry, you're back to Snoops, Mom.
Yep.
Their opinions that you probably don't care about may or may not be shared by those who sponsor this podcast.
Well, my real alcohol story, you bought the bottle for me.
Oh, yeah.
You drove it to Jackson's house in Linden. Do you remember that? He had that big ass, like, super rich house. He had a pool in the backyard. It was a massive house. You brought me the bottle. I sent you the address, and it was a bottle, a red Smirnoff. It just said Smirnoff, and I'm pretty sure it was just regular ass vodka.
I bought you alcohol?
You did, because I wanted to. I said, Jamie, I want a drink, and because I told you everything, and you were I Honest Abe at some point with you in my life.
I'm sure at this time I had begged you several times for you bought me alcohol a few times.
Yeah.
I did?
Yeah.
I don't remember buying either of you guys alcohol.
I was 17, so I think you had already started drinking, and that's
Yeah,
why
probably.
that's why you were okay with it. But I think I gave you $40, and you got me some beers, a case of beers, and then a bottle of Smirnoff.
And I pocketed the rest of your money.
Yeah, probably. I wouldn't doubt it. But that was the first time that I drank, and it was rad. And you know how you guys said, had a glass your first time, or Steven had a little bit, got tipsy. No, we got fucked up and finished that bottle. We finished the beer, and I ended up trying to crawl into the hot tub. I fell into it and splashed probably like 2 feet of water out of it. Oh, that was such a fun time. Fell asleep in the tub.
You're not supposed to cannonball into... You fell asleep in a hot tub?
No, not in the hot tub. In his tub in the house.
It's like, damn, you fell asleep in the tub? That's even better, though,
In the
actually.
tub.
Was it full of water?
No.
Oh, okay.
Puke.
Full of vomit?
Yeah.
That's what... So were you placed in the tub, or did you go there of your own volition?
I went there to go throw up in the toilet, and then for some reason I looked at that and said, that's a great idea. I can just puke and sleep. So I did. That was
On
my
paper,
first time.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Do you know those Arizona iced teas that
Yeah.
people drink? I had the RX tonic one. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had that and mixed it with vodka, and that
Actually sounds delicious.
it was. It was delicious, and that was the first time I drank. You supplied it.
Everybody has those clever setups though. When you've had a little too much, and that you could go one way or the others. Like I've before, at my old room and stuff, I would fall asleep on my bed, but I would get as close to the edge as possible, and I would take my garbage can and lean it up against the side of the bed so that if I had to puke, I didn't have to move at all. I could just fall right into the can.
Oh, yeah.
And that's all of our first times drinking. Do we have any like?
Well, I was gonna say, I have a couple of stories of like party stories of people where they ended up in a bathtub. So it's kind of funny.
I do too.
You'll probably. I only remember it because I took a picture of it, and it's my favorite picture ever. But you probably remember the actual story better. I don't think I was partying at that point.
Are you Alex in the tub? Yeah.
Does he listen to the show?
I think so. I don't know if he's caught up, but
What a dick.
I know he's heard a few.
Yeah, that's how we should greet all of our listeners. Hey, dicks.
Hey,
Sup, dicks. Butt lick. I don't remember the story of how he ended up in the tub, but I do remember the picture and everything. It's a great picture, though. He's, because Alex, he's a tall, lanky guy. He doesn't fit in the tub already, so he's got like 1 foot out, and he's got his arm with holding a beer hanging out of the tub and everything. Do you remember any of the details? I don't remember how he got into the tub, but we have a really nice picture of him asleep in his clothes in the empty tub.
You have written down here, bread throwing caregiver.
Yes. So
I have bread stories, and I'm wondering if it's the same one. I didn't think you were there with me, but
it's nothing specific. It was most parties that we had at that apartment. Alex always took it upon himself, no matter how intoxicated he was or was not. We would go get. I don't remember who would do this, but one of us would always go get those like $1.50 French loaves at like Harmon's and Walmart and shit like that, because they liked having that bread. So he'd run over to the little cabinet. He'd rip a big old like medieval hunk of that bread off, and he would just walk around and make sure everybody had water and bread, and he was taking care of them to make sure they don't like get super sick or anything. So
That's nice.
But he did it in true Alex fashion. It wasn't like, here, have some bread and make sure you're hydrated. He would walk up and rip off a big fistful of bread and throw it at you. Just go, yeah, eat it, bitch. So he was the caregiver, making sure everyone was okay, but he was aggressive.
that's where that started. Well, because as we all moved on in life and had moved to different apartments and stuff, there was always someone at our parties who would do the same thing. They would stuff bread in your face, or it was to help, I guess, soak up the alcohol. I don't even know if it works, like if it's a real thing.
I don't know if it's a wives' tale but yeah.
I always heard
that's the
that
idea.
eating bread with alcohol is bad because of the yeast in the bread.
It probably is.
Yeah, I
we were
thought it
probably
was.
just doubling down on our drunkenness.
Maybe, I don't know. Yeah.
I have to research
Yeah,
that.
just say tonight. I'll call you.
I have a picture of me, and I'm totally drunk, and so is Jesse, but he's trying to help me, and he has a handful of tortilla chips, and he's just stuffing them in my mouth and just laughing maniacally. But yeah, we always have the bread giver, if you will. Mm-hmm. The breadwinner. for the parties.
We all won.
But we didn't have any bread. Yeah, we were out of bread, so it was tortilla chips. Everyone was the winner.
I don't know why, but getting drunk, eating anything will help you. But for some reason, I always turn to chips or bread. It's
Weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is.
I was always the kind of person who, like, if someone's had a little too much to drink, I'd, go sit with them for a while and be like, oh, man, you all right? I'd rub your back. I'd talk with you, see how you're doing. But, like, always in the middle of that, we would just get assaulted with, like, bread in the face.
Yep, just
Eat it, bitch! And, like, you'd turn around and sometimes he would be gone by that point.
Slice would slap you.
Phantom.
Yeah, Phantom Bread Fairy. I'm sure that we had so many parties at that apartment. It's become like the party at the 8th North apartment, just like the summer of Taibo.
Yeah.
They're all condensed into one. But I always tried to go around to the parties and be like, what's happening in this corner? Who's over here? I would try to mingle with everybody as best I can instead of stay in one spot. And I remember I had just I had been in my room with the stoners. And I was walking out to the next. What's going on next in the party? What's happening in the kitchen? And I walk up, and we had this little teeny tiny, like 2-person dining table in there because the apartment was small. I don't remember where we got it. Like it even like folded down on the sides to get even smaller if you wanted. But Brandon was sitting there on one side alone, and he had a deck of cards, and he's just sitting there flipping through them. And I walk up, or I'm approaching him. Before I even got there, he sees me and he like gestures me over, like, "Hey, come sit. I want to show you something." It's like, "Oh, okay." And I sit down, and as he's like very sloppily shuffling these cards, he's just like, "Do you like magic?" yes, I do. He's just like, "I'm going to show you the best trick ever." He's just flipping through them, doing all these things. And he separates the deck and spreads them out with his thumbs. And he goes, "All right, pick a card. Don't let me see. Pick one anywhere in the deck." And I was like, "Okay." And grab it. He shuffles them again. He's like, "All right, okay, put them back anywhere. Just put them back in the deck anywhere you want to." I was like, "Okay." And he goes, "But remember that card. Remember that card that you had." I said, "Okay." And he goes, "All right, now pick one more." Pulls it out. He's like, "Memorize it. Don't you show everybody else you want. Don't let me see it. You memorize it though." I was like, "Okay." He goes, "Now put it back in face up." I said, "Okay." So I do that. He starts shuffling, and he takes the whole deck and just and throws it on the table, and like half of the deck spills across the table, the other half falls to the floor, just fucking everywhere. 52 card pickup shit. He just grabs a random card on the table and he holds it up to me as fast as he can next to his face, but he didn't realize it was turned around, so I'm looking at the back of the card. And he just "Was this your card?"
Was it?
I don't know. I couldn't see it.
Ow.
But like before waiting for an answer or anything, he just did that like squinty eyed, like he's laughing so hard smile that everybody does, just like, "Was this your card?" It's just like it's over. Like that was the joke. That was it.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna have to look him up so he can teach me that trick.
That's good stuff.
It is one of my, like I said, not super eventful. I think it was one of my favorite stories that ever happened at a party though. Caught me off guard completely. It was the best trick I've ever seen.
I don't have too many party stories. I wrote down here under Jamie, hated parties. He was a loser? ?
And then I crossed off the question mark.
Well done. Way to bring that home.
Nice.
But I have a weird party, but it kind of takes us out of state, and it's a whole thing that we vowed we would never talk about again with my friends, and that my wife doesn't like me recounting. So
Let's do it.
I'll hold on to that from. I want to hear Russell some stories from you.
Oh man, I have too many.
Just know you have my interest. I'm curious what that is.
I've never talked about it.
Wow.
Really?
And this is the place you want to do it.
Yeah, you wanted to do
You're
it.
sure about this.
But yeah, I don't know. It might be a better place to end in case I want to cut it out.
Fair enough.
I have too many parties. Because since the night you bought me that bottle, it's just been all uphill
Too
from
many
there.
parties or too
downhill,
many party
depending on-
stories?
Yeah.
So
Both.
I made you the drunk that you are.
Yes.
I created the Big Lebowski.
Yes. Technically, Steven did. If you want to be
Okay, good.
technical.
I do want to be technical then. If
Yeah.
it's Steven's fault, I want to be technical about it.
Oh.
But I hate vodka now. It's probably because of that. But no, I just wrote down a couple of, I guess, stories that I remember the most. One of them, I used to go hang up at the Orchard all the time, and you guys remember that. I was up there for 2-3 years all the time. Mm-hmm. And one of the times we
We had a friend who owned a local orchard.
yeah, who he would just let me come up and just smoke weed and drink all the time. It doesn't matter. And so that's what we did. And so one day I went up there with our good friend. Oh, what do we want to call him? Joe what? Joe Blow Me? I can't call him that because like
Why?
we got all right, Joe Blow Me.
I
I have two different stories, 2 different nights. So they'll be quick. But one of the times, the guy who owned the orchard, we'll just call him Orchard Boy, old man. He had a Jazzy, you know those things that old people sit in and like to scoot around to make it easier for them to like get around. Yeah, so he had one of those, and so me and Joe thought it would be a super good idea to get really drunk and really high, really stoned, and just drive it home.
drive the Jazzy home.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And that's when they had just paved the canal. It used to be a dirt road, but now it was, a nice, not bumpy road, and so we drove it on there.
Smooth Jazzy ride.
And it died. I don't know if you guys have ever picked up a Jazzy. Those things are like a
heavy.
metric ton.
Yeah.
They are super heavy. And so we actually had to drag it through the horse field by the Rogers.
Wait,
Holy
did you pick
shit.
it up or did you push it?
Both. We like.
And why did you take it home? Why didn't you take it back to charge it?
We didn't want to walk up the bigger hill towards Paul's house. So we
We
went.
went up a horse field
we went
that's
up-
maybe a steeper grade.
And
first of all,
covered in
but
shit
horse
and
shit.
grass.
But less. And Joe's house was right there at the end of the horse field.
Yes.
Like literally 100 yards away. So we decided to drag it up there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was terrible. So that was one night. And then another night, we got really drunk and stoned, and we were skating home. And that was back when I longboarded and skateboarded. So I had a backpack that had my skateboard strapped to it, and then I was longboarding home. But we were so drunk, I went, and it was pitch black, and I went to go put my foot down to start pedaling, and I just went whoosh, and completely missed the ground. And I flipped over onto my back, but because the skateboard was there, I kept rolling. So it was just like, what? I thought I was God that night. It was rad. Those are my parties from Paul's.
I'm a little more interested in this other topic you have written down for your party.
Oh,
Yeah, what does that even
It
mean?
just says PCP party. Oops.
so back when me and Joe lived together, we wanted to try some acid. So
Like you do.
As you
Yeah.
do, yeah.
so we got some, and then Joe was like, "This is gonna be really good. Let's have some." And so we did. It wasn't acid. It was PCP, and we didn't know that until after we had consumed it. And the whole night turned into a terrifying event where Tanner Nighthawk is what I'll call him, because that's what he's been in my phone for 12 years now.
He is Nighthawk.
Yep, Tanner Nighthawk. I was wearing one of those little hats that resemble like a bear. It was like pink, and then it had little furry balls that I held onto all night with little bear ears.
What kind of bears have you been looking at your whole life?
It was just a bear hat with bear ears, and I had that on, and Tanner took way more PCP than I did, and he thought I was a monster, and so he tried to kill me. And that's
Oh, I've heard that story.
yeah. And that was my parties were scary. Now I just like to drink and hang out and have fun and good times. Those parties I don't like those parties. Those are over.
I do feel like there's a little more touch and play between Pink Bear Hat and Tanner tried to kill me.
Yeah, there's probably. I'm sure there's something in between.
Well, he just said that he didn't like the way I looked.
Okay.
Yeah. And so
Racist.
Yeah, right?
No.
No, I spent most of the night in the bathroom with a single candle burning on the bathroom floor and my phone playing music, and I was just scooting on my butt in a circle. And then I felt like I was getting sucked into a vortex on this PCP, so I grabbed onto the towel rack, just going, whoa, whoa, looking at the candle, and that was it. And then I came out, and then Tanner Nighthawk did his thing. We had to hide the knives. He got naked and ran through the complex. And then Tanner came back and he said, "I'm sorry I tried to kill you. Take that fucking hat off." And so I did.
Do you have it anymore?
The hat?
Yeah.
No, I don't even know whose it was. Somebody
Russell has a rare hat.
Ooh. Wait.
We were
You don't have it anymore?
no.
Then why would you say Russell has a rare hat?
Because it's rare.
Why would you? Well, okay. So a rare hat exists.
It belonged to somebody that would come over and smoke lots of weed with us. And I believe he or she came and got it. I just had one final story that I wanted to bring up. And it was at your house in Orem by the fire station.
Okay.
It was one of my personal favorite stories about Samurai Ron. And so
I knew it was going to be this story.
he's very He's the most innocent of all of our friends. Hey, be careful.
Break that chair.
I guess.
Good thing you're going to the gym.
Wow. Fat shaming on the podcast.
Well, they can't hear how heavy you are.
Oh, man.
Let's get back to the story.
Yeah, we're
Oh, yeah, right.
No, but Ron's very innocent, and it was his. I don't know if it was his first time drinking. No, because that was with me. This had to have been probably one of the first 5 times that he drank, and he got there a little bit late, and so all of us were already drunk. We had been taking shots all night, drinking beers, and Ron gets there, and all that was really left was some red wine and shot glasses, and so Ron thought, you know what? I'll just shoot some wine. Because
He shot wine.
So that sounded easier for him, yeah. Because he, like I said, he's not a big drinker. He's a very innocent guy. And so I think he had, maybe 4 to 6 good shots of wine and ended up passing out on your carpet right in the middle of the room.
Yep.
And all of us started to fall asleep. But I remember that me and Wes were actually, helping people, getting them all to bed, putting them in their cars and Ubers, whatever the fuck it was at the time. And Ron just started to go, brr, 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 brr. And we were like, oh, he's either dreaming or he's about to throw up.
Like a sleeping dog?
Yeah, right? Yeah. So we were like, what the
he's dreaming.
He's dreaming. We were like, what the shit? And then Ron just, as he's still sleeping, just went, and all over your white carpet was red wine. Red wine. Oh, we harmonized that. That was
welcome.
cool. Thanks. But I just remember Ron just going, and me and Wes just being like, uh-oh, or cute. And then it was red wine all over your white carpet.
Well, would you like to hear my side of that story?
Sure.
Very much.
So we were throwing this party at our house, and I don't know, I don't remember exactly why, but we decided it was going to be a rager because we were moving out in 3 days. We were going to move to a different place, so we thought, yeah, whatever, let's just have a massive party. And so we did, and it was all over the white carpet. Wine from Samurai Ron's mouth all over, just a big old stain that obviously didn't come out. But he wasn't the only one. Wes was in the bathroom already puking, just like a lot of vomit. And then Joe also had to puke, so he went to run in the bathroom but couldn't and didn't want to puke all over Wes. So instead, projectile vomited all up and down the wall.
I remember that.
next
He
to the
covered his
bathroom.
mouth and it was coming
Yep.
through his fingers.
Just spraying.
I remember
out.
that. Ugh.
And the whole time, Wes is getting covered in vomit underneath him as he's vomiting into the toilet. And then I just remember just looking over there while that was happening, going, well, that happened. And then turning around to walk down back into the living room. And then Samurai Ron's on the floor and he's vomiting out wine. And it was like, yep, this was a good party. and then Jesse, meanwhile, I'm looking for him to be like, oh, should we wrap up the party? But he comes in the house with no clothes on, wearing some girl's shawl over his shoulder. I shouldn't say no clothes on. He just took off his shirt for whatever reason. And it's in the dead of winter. It was either November or January. So I got cold or whatever. So he's wearing a random shawl. And it was like, okay, this party is officially when the host of the party is wearing some chick's shawl. I was like, whose shawl is that? Mine now. So, it was a crazy party. But the best part of that story is we thought for sure we're going to lose our deposit. Obviously, we destroyed the carpet. The carpet's ruined. There's vomit stains up and down. I mean, we cleaned up as best we could, but there was just a lot of shit left over from that party that went on a little too hard. And thought, yeah, we're gonna lose the deposit. But the rental company forgot to mail the check for the deposit, and you legally have 30 days to do it. You have to return a deposit to a tenant within 30 days. So on the 31st day, I called them and said, we haven't seen a check. Have you mailed it yet? She's like, oh, let me check. They went and checked and realized today's the 31st day. And they're like, yeah, we sent it out right now. It's on its way. It should be there either today or tomorrow. Obviously, don't sue us or don't get us in trouble. And it was the full amount, despite Samurai Ron's stain on the carpet.
Hell yeah.
And that's sweet. But they had to have replaced that carpet. Even professional cleaning services couldn't have gotten it out. We drove by the house a day and a half later, and someone was already fully moved in. It's there's no way they replaced the carpet in that time.
No.
So whoever lives there now is doing so in a pool of Samurai Ron.
Yep.
That party was a rager.
I did enjoy that party a lot. It's just one of my favorite experiences with you too. Why do my friends puke all over people's stuff?
I don't know. It's very rare that I get to the point where I'm drinking to the point where I'm puking. I have a couple of those stories, but not so many because I just don't like getting to that point. It's no fun.
It happens. You know, like you said, you know, you don't like lime anymore or anything like that. The same thing with me and Fireball, cinnamon.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Anyways, I don't know why I wrote down here that I hated parties and I was a loser ? Because now,
I don't know why you
we're
wrote down you hated parties.
now that we're recounting stories, I realize I've been to a few, but I think it was more that the people I associated with, they were more partiers. I wasn't ever really so much a partier, but my friends were, and so I just kind of went with it because I'm content to just sit on a couch and do absolutely nothing and just talk for hours. And I love talking, so I started a podcast. But I was drugged to one such party. I had a couple of friends of mine were going out to Arizona and they wanted me to go with them. And they were like, let's go. It's just going to be like, we just need a break. Two of my gay friends. And they said, it's just going to be a big gay weekend. And they just wanted to party and just like go to gay nightclubs and stuff. And, I've always been, fine with it. I don't care. They're fabulous and fun. And what are you doing?
You always call me out when I'm trying to be like considerate and quiet.
Well, it's because you are being the least conspicuous about it. It's like a fucking Mr. Magoo. Boom, 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 boom. Like, what the fuck? It's
the
so.
fuck are you talking, Mr. Magoo?
Yeah. No, that's not Mr. Magoo. Who am I thinking? Pink Panther. When he's trying to be sneaky, but he can't because he's fucking Panther who's neon pink.
No, I'm
And
still
you chewing ice over there.
sorry.
Anyway, get your vape out.
Okay.
No.
Oh.
I meant breathe it out, not take another one.
Okay.
You can take another one if you want. God damn it. Oh, they both did it. I thought you were going to quit.
Nobody likes a quitter.
Thank you.
I thought you were going to quit.
Nobody likes a quitter.
So yeah, two of my friends, they were heading out to Arizona for the weekend, and they wanted to have like this. Work had been really shitty, and they just wanted to get away and have like a big fun. It was they just called it the gay weekend, and just a big gay weekend, and they really wanted me to go, and because I played wingman for my best friend a lot, and so I'd go up and I'd help him rate guys or whatever. I played wingman and I was really good at it. And so they said, they did set the expectation. We're just going to go clubbing and, we're going to go to just different bars and just hang out all weekend. So we arrived in Arizona. We drove out there. And the second the friend we were staying with, another gay friend, I have so many gay friends. They're fabulous. I love them. But we pulled into my friend's house and immediately shot. Here you go. It started the weekend with liquor.
Oh, I thought you meant like.
I don't.
I was like,
Yeah.
fucking what?
Yep. Fucking killed my friend. I'm like, man, if this is what a gay weekend means, I don't want to be gay. No, just the second we pulled up, we started drinking, and almost the entire weekend is just a haze of blurry images and doom, 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 doom. Like. That's mostly the only thing I remember because we just went to different clubs and all these different restaurants.
Sounds like a good time.
Drank the whole time, but the best night was the first night we went out to the club. The very night we arrived, we go to our first club, and it was a massive place. It had 2 or 3 levels, and it was spread out pretty far. So we all kind of split up, and all throughout the night, we're on different. So, I'm near the front of the club, and all of a sudden, the guy who invited us down for the party, Tommy is his name. Tommy's there, and he's like, "Hey, come over here." He's buying people birthday shots, and it's a shot that tastes like a birthday cake. It's this guy's birthday, man. Whoa. We have a birthday cake shot. So we take it, and then he would dance off, and he'd be gone again and flitter away. And I was like, okay. And then I was, me and my buddy would make our way around the bar, and so now I'm upstairs. So I'm on the next floor, and different group of people. There's Tommy again. Come here, it's this guy's birthday, man. Give him birthday shots. So take birthday shots again. Like, holy shit.
He sounds magical. Like he disappears in a cloud of smoke.
That's exactly what it was. He just, it was more of a cloud of glitter, just gone. And then all of a sudden, you know, you'd be in a completely different part of the bar 5 minutes later. Birthday shot. We did like 6 or 7 different birthday shots with random people.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, like, and it I don't know what I don't know how many people were there celebrating their birthdays, but it was at least 7.
Apparently it was the whole club.
And then the best part was at the end of the night when we were like recounting the story, everybody was like, yeah, I kept running into Tommy. I was like, you weren't there when I ran into him. And, well, no, this was a different time. Everybody had different stories about running into Tommy doing birthday shots with people. And so I don't know if Tommy was like making up people's birthdays.
Yeah,
and, yeah. So anyways,
I hope so.
and then the next day we woke up, and for some reason, the guy we were staying with, he was laying on his couch in a Tigger suit. Don't know how that happened, but the guy is a crazy partier, super fun. But that's my big party story that I don't tell. Oh, and even though it was supposed to be some big gay fabulous weekend, I was the only one who got laid, and it was with a woman. Like, I should probably clarify that, but out of all my friends, they went there to meet boys and party, and I was the only one who hooked up with a chick.
There you go.
Boop boop. It was a chick.
Was she wearing a Tigger suit?
I don't remember. The wonderful thing about Tiggers.
Sounds like a fun party. T-I-double.
Yeah, it was. Well, and what made me think of it is earlier when I said whipped. Every shot we had, it was shitty whipped vodka with diet root beer, and it ruined whipped for me. Never
God.
again. Yeah, like we'd be.
That's disgusting.
He'd be pouring shots. Like we'd wake up 9 a.m. He's pouring shots for everyone. So Jesse and I'd be like, "Yeah, cheers!" Dump it in the drain when no one's looking, and then pretend to shoot it. Like it was that bad.
That's smooth.
So I don't know if Tommy's a listener, but if you are, Tommy, I dumped at least 4 shots down your kitchen sink. Sorry, not sorry. Hashtag.
Happy
Anyways,
birthday.
yeah, happy birthday. Do a birthday shot for me, son. Well, we are pretty strapped for time, but this is a podcast with stories and opinions that you don't care about. Does anyone have any extra stories or opinions that they wanted to share before we wrap it up?
Sleepy spaghetti.
What is Sleepy Spaghetti?
I don't even know what that is.
I don't remember the explanation.
Radical.
I'm the one who knows what it is. It was something I cut out of one of the episodes. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's what Russell calls spaghetti when it's uncooked.
Yeah.
It's Sleepy Spaghetti.
Sleepy spaghetti.
That's right.
Whoa.
Did you ever eat that butter?
I did not eat the butter.
Okay, Steven's never going to eat the butter. I'm moving on.
No.
She quit.
I'm gonna say it might be off, but the coworker who gave me the original challenge and the $50 incentive has quit.
Okay, so
Not gonna happen.
she's like wiped off the face of the planet now that she doesn't work there anymore?
No, but she's
or?
not legally allowed back in the kitchen.
Right, and you have access to butter only in that kitchen. Listen, don't be a butter can't. Be a butter can.
I can't believe it's not.
Butter.
All right. New incentive. I'll give you half of what
How
she
about that?
offered to eat
I
it.
can't believe the bet's not happening. What?
I said new incentive. I'll give you half of what she offered to eat it.
My new incentive, I want to get this straight. I should be more enthralled, like to carry this out. My new incentive is less incentive.
Correct.
Yes. Because that's what happens when you make a deal and then don't follow through.
She didn't
Is
follow
the next
through.
time that she has to eat the butter?
No, she has to give it to me along with $50 and never did.
She has to give it to you?
The
What
butter,
are you-
yeah.
Oh, she has to. You're incapable of picking up butter.
No, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying if I shoot that amount of liquid butter and it fucks with my stomach or whatever all day, and then I go to her and be like, all right, pay up, bitch. And she'd be like, I don't have $50 right now. Honestly, sorry. I'm gonna kill someone.
You want to get paid first?
No, I do, not necessarily. I don't want to get paid first or up front. I just want to see it. It's got to be there. It's got to be available for me to take upon completion. Otherwise, I'm just being
This sounds like excuses.
no. Otherwise, I'm just being an asshole who drank butter and fucked up my stomach for nothing because she has to run to the bank every fucking day and she doesn't want to pay me from there on.
I think he's pussing out.
$25.
Other coworkers have said they might still be interested in contributing. to
Sounds
make
like
sure
you've
it
had every opportunity, but you're just pussing out.
happens. Whose side are you on?
I'm on the butter side.
Yeah, we're on the butter side.
It just keeps getting better and better.
Butter. Well,
That wasn't really quite in the margarine of jokes.
oh god.
Damn.
So, I mean, that being said, every episode we like to tell some stories, and then we like to talk about what we learned from those stories, because I mean, it's really important to say what we learned. And I think with today's episode, we had a lot of fun, and we told a lot of funny stories. And what I don't want to do, kids, all the kids that listen to our podcast, I just want to double down. Alcohol is not cool. Don't do an alcohol.
We've had a lot of fun here today, but you know what's not fun?
Alcohol poisoning.
Alcohol poisoning.
Puking wine all over your friend's carpet.
Underage drinking.
Yeah.
All the above.
That's what I learned. Kids, don't do alcohols. What'd you learn, Steven?
I learned that if you do alcohols, don't leave your Kool-Aid vodka out by the computer.
Russ, what'd you learn?
And I learned if you do alcohols, invite Tommy, because it's way more fun with Tommy.
Free birthday shots.
Yeah.
We learned a lot of good stuff today. So we're not extremely active on social media, but we do post occasionally from time to time pictures and follow up from stories and stuff. So just in case people are interested, Russ, where do they find us?
In case you're interested, you can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, just by searching No Time Like Bro Time or NTLBT.
And as always, we want people to share the podcast. And why should they share the podcast, Steven?
Because you got people who you think might enjoy it. If you want more interaction from us, especially on social media, we want to interact with you too. It's not a one-way street, all right? We need you just as much as you need us.
It's true. If more people are tuning in, we see, people do have an interest, and then we can start. We will start doing more episodes because we'll see that people are interested. Oh, we're getting more ratings. Oh, we're getting more listeners. We need to do more than once a month. But as it stands right now, I'm comfortable just doing it once a month with the listenership that we currently have. So if you want to hear more, you got to share, and you gotta share, and you gotta rate the podcast. We do have a Patreon if you want to support the podcast. We don't have a whole bunch of supporters, so it's kind of slowed down there. So, but for now, thanks to our mothers and mothers-in-law who support us on Patreon.
And Cade.
And Cade. Yeah, don't want to forget Cade. You know what? I was going to say Cade's not our mom, but I think he earned that right by subscribing to our Patreon. Thanks, Mama Cade.
Mama Cade.
Appreciate you.
Thanks, Snoop.
Well, that's the end of the show. So I'm going to sign off by saying, as always, I'm Mom's favorite.
I'm Dad's favorite.
And I'm Russ.
Don't do a nasty.
Be a good boy.
Later, butt licks.
That was...
Did you like that?
Later, butt licks.
Ooh, yeah.
Boom, 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 boom.
Wow, 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 wow. Wow, 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 wow.
Listen
wow,
to
wow,
the
wow.
podcast. This is
What
too
the
poppy.
Russell and I are like, we're doing this whole thing. Running with the devil.
Here come the jesters. 1, 2,
Oh my
3.
God.
We're never going to have our own theme song.
Not this rate.
Good job, boys.
That was a good one.